Welcome back, sporting fans, to another spectacular episode of the Paint the Wall podcast. I, as always, am your host, Steve, and I am joined this week by a man who often crochets while he sleeps, but you all know him as Logan.
Yeah, it's a very productive hobby because, that you can then sell the crochets. So it works pretty well. It took a lot of training because, your body doesn't like to do things while you're asleep usually, so it did take a little bit.
Right.
But once I got there, it was pretty helpful.
Awesome. I think it's pretty cool. You've made me a couple little, coasters, I guess?
Yeah, the little coaster thingies.
Yeah.
Probably would have been helpful for you to bring them to demonstrate. But, here we are.
Well, I didn't know I was going to do this one until just like a couple seconds ago when I picked
That's
it. So
fair. Very good point.
Well, we got a fun one to talk about, I think.
We do.
I don't often say that about 0-0 draws, but I think we actually have a pretty fun one to talk about.
Yeah, maybe.
We are, of course, talking about our 0-0 draw in LA from this past weekend. Went kind of well. We pretty much dominated the entire game.
By some standards, yes.
Yeah, I'll say statistically, anyway.
By some statistics.
Yeah. Pretty good game. No goals, though, very strangely enough. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, by a lot of standards and, by kind of the run of play, we definitely dominated for a large portion of the game. We looked really well. We controlled the ball. We pressed when we wanted to. Looked really good for a good portion of it. It was a little nervy at times, and it definitely was one of those games where it could have been 19-0 either direction. There was a lot of shots, a lot of good shots, and honestly, a lot of good goalkeeping. Tim Melia and Hugo Lloris looked fantastic, as you would expect from a World Cup winner, and also from one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time.
Yep.
And then there's Hugo Lloris.
Yeah. It's funny how good Hugo Lloris can look when he's not in the snow.
Right. I don't know. I guess the big concern for me is still we're struggling for quality chances. It is concerning. I mean, a total team expected goal average of 0.6 for a game isn't a good number. So you'd hope to see a little bit more quality chances. That being said, it was LAFC. They're one of the stronger teams in the West, always have been. So it's hard to get that concerned about it. It's definitely one of those games where, in a vacuum, the result is really good. In the grand scheme of things, it is still a little concerning. But overall, it was an impressive performance, especially from our back four.
Yeah. I would say I disagree just slightly.
Okay.
Not as much as I really thought we were going to disagree on this one. That's why I haven't texted you a whole lot about this game since it happened.
Right.
Because I was like, this might be a good episode because I think we might completely disagree on this one, but we don't seem to for the most part. I'm not as disappointed in the chances that we created. I brought up the stats. We're at 60% possession, 60.4% possession.
Yeah.
Same shots, same shot on goal also 16 and 6. They had way more fouls. We had more yellow cards. Nothing else really matters. 6 saves each. I thought in this game we actually created a lot of really good chances. Some of them were missed. 6 of them were just saved. Some of them really nice saves.
They were.
Like Memo's in particular is the one that really sticks out in my head. Memo shot low and in the corner that Hugo somehow gets down to.
Yeah.
Lots of great saves, and I think that since we're playing, MLS teams and keepers of Hugo Lloris's, stature, it's hard to not remember that it's not as bad if we don't score when it's that kind of stuff that's happening,
Right. I do agree.
Yeah, I thought that our attack actually looked a lot better, and wasn't as concerning as it has been in other games because we did have a lot of good opportunities, I thought. So.
Yeah, I suppose. Again, I am just worried. We seemed to struggle with this last year. We did find it eventually, but it's kind of a concerning trend to continue to see the same thing again. So I don't know. It's probably me just being worried, but it is concerning.
Yeah. And I hope and think that this next week will be a little bit better test, because we are playing San Jose coming up, and they're not off to a good start. So LAFC, a thing to remember is we were playing LAFC, who were just in back-to-back MLS Cup finals, one of which they won.
Yeah, true.
And we were in LA.
Right.
Nobody plays well in that stadium, period, ever.
Except for us. We're the only team to ever beat them twice there.
I was going to say, I did have a note in here, we are the only team in MLS to beat them multiple times in that stadium, which is impressive. But
it is.
But that also, on the other hand, really tells you how teams struggle in that stadium. They just do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of adds to the, not as concerned. If that game was in Kansas City and we played exactly like that, we probably win 2-0, 2-1, something like that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on that, I guess. But
no, that's fair.
A few notes that I had from the game, just things I definitely wanted to touch on. My first note before the game that I wrote was Bouanga just got a new contract yesterday, which I didn't know until kickoff, and they told us that.
I did know this. Yes.
I was just reading my note. Yesterday, meaning the day before the game. Not literally yesterday.
Not yesterday, yeah.
And he hasn't scored yet this year. So I was like, well, these are two not good things that don't bode well for us.
Right.
Turns out, didn't matter, literally at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Announcers pronounced Shallowy's name 3 different ways, one of which was correct, to be fair.
Yeah.
They did say Shallowy.
Yep.
But we also got Shalloy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even remember what the other one was. It was like Shallow A or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Just research it. It's just so annoying.
Yeah. It is very unique how bad our commentators are, and I'm always trying to understand. It's like, do these guys just not is this something that happens all the time and I just don't notice it? But it truly feels like these Apple TV broadcasters are just really bad.
Yeah. They have to have a pronunciation sheet, because they're getting half of these other names right.
You would think so.
That are crazy, but I don't know. It seems to always be Shallowy's too. It's always his name.
Yeah.
It's wrong in FIFA too, or what is it? EAFC now? Whatever.
EAFC.
The video game. It's wrong in that too. I think they still say Shallowy.
Right.
It's just look it up.
I don't know. Yeah.
But also, the thing that irritated me the most, really the only reason why I put it in my notes, because I'm just so used to it now, they got it right. 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, they did get it right.
So I'm like, okay, you did get it right, but now you're back to getting it wrong again. And that's a different wrong. That one's way wrong. And it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it is a little confusing.
Last note that I had pregame was, thank God Elie fixed his hair. So
yeah.
The cornrows are gone, although his replacement, what was his name? David Martinez, I want to say. Yes, David Martinez had the same hairstyle. And they did ask him about that before the game. I guess that was all the midfielders had it at one point, and now it's down to just David Martinez is the only one that still has it.
Okay.
So,
okay. I don't know.
Whatever.
Elie is a listener to the podcast, though, confirmed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he definitely heard us talking about it.
Welcome.
So, just kind of going through the game, I guess. Melia made a bunch of good saves.
Mm-hmm.
I put 20 minutes in. We look like a much better team. More chances, better passing, a lot more creativity.
Yeah.
That, to me, other than a lot of spurts in the game, continued the whole game. I thought we looked a lot more impressive than they did pretty much the whole game, other than little pocket attacks that they would have. But even those, they messed them all up, or missed the shot completely, or missed a pass. And so I'm like, well, this is annoying. But I have Tim Melia in all caps 5 times in my notes.
Yeah, he looked impressive for sure.
Yeah,
he looked good.
Brings us all the way to halftime pretty much.
No subs for PV again.
Yep.
Glad he's back in form.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. I really went back and forth on that one, because early in the season, you'd think you'd like to get some fresh legs, and that game kind of feels like it was begging for some fresh legs.
100%. Yeah.
But I do understand and recognize how hard it is to pull out players when our team is playing as well as they were playing. Like, they were playing really well. So
I can understand why it would be hard, but it's also not because we're not scoring.
True.
It's one of those where, again, I come back to, like, we get lots of chances, we get lots of opportunities, but it's the phrase that Peter uses all the time, which is quality chances and opportunities. And I don't feel like we were getting those. I feel like we were getting chances and opportunities. We had lots of breakaways, we had lots of runs, but we weren't getting quality chances and opportunities. At the end of the day, we weren't getting really good stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. For me, it just felt like the game desperately needed a sub. Something. Give me Vargas. Give me, I don't know, give me Felipe. Give me something to spark a little bit of a difference. And just didn't seem to have any of it. So,
yeah, I do think, like, the two subs that I really thought probably should have happened, I think Johnny should have come off. I do even have a note. It's one of my last ones, but I really thought he looked slow and honestly pretty lazy at a few times. There's a lot of times where he would fall back on defense, and then we would recover and we would start pushing, and he would just be walking.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, that's annoying. Can we get that? And Leibold. I thought Leibold got absolutely toasted all game.
Yes, I agree.
So I think we probably could have seen Basong there, and then maybe a Frifa or something in for Johnny. I don't know which route they take there. There's like 3 different subs. I wouldn't have taken Pulido out. Pulido looked really good. He looked like he was close to scoring a lot. I thought he looked good. See, but the difference is between me and you is, like, you are way more pessimistic than I am. I am way more optimistic. So I think that is ultimately what it boils down to.
You're on crack, man. Man, what? PV's not doing, or not, Pulido's not doing anything.
I mean, let me look at
what are you talking about?
his stats from
yeah, look at it. Let's pull up his stats here. What did he do? Let's see.
3 shots, 2 on target. And that's it. But what else would he have, you know? He had 4 fouls against him, but that's really the only stats that they really track for forwards. But he had 3 shots, 2 of which were on target. I could probably find more stats, but we're not really talking about his passing completages and stuff like that.
Yeah, but again, an expected goal of 0.2 for a number 9, that's got to be bigger.
I don't care about that stat. The stat is meaningless to me.
It should matter, because that is a great representative of quality chances and opportunities.
Yeah, but it's meaningless. I mean,
it's not.
How many times do you see the team with the lower expected goal win the game? A ton. Happens all the time.
Because it's not a true representation of who's winning or losing. That is, as you know, soccer is a very random thing. And all it takes is one small little moment to flip a game on its head.
Yeah.
And this is a whole game performance. This is how they performed across the entire game. That's what expected goal average shows.
True.
Is consistency.
But in explaining that, you kind of just proved my point. Like, it's a...
Sure, if he would have scored a goal...
Any spur of the moment, he had 3 shots. He had 3 opportunities to score. Yeah. If one of those goes in, we win this game.
Of course.
You know?
That's also...
2 games before that, he only had 1 shot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 1 shot each. So he's already, he had 3 shots in the game. He's already creating more chances. He's in better spots. He's receiving the ball better. His first touches looked better. He looked faster.
No, I don't agree with any of that. I think he looked exactly the same.
Well,
he looked slow. He looked
unresponsive. Say otherwise.
Statistics don't say otherwise. Statistics say the exact same thing.
They don't, though. 3 shots is a lot different than 1 shot.
You are right. That is a different number.
Yes, it is.
But it's down to, was it quality? I don't give a crap if he got 3 shots. If they were
2 of them were on target. So
okay, cool. Right at the keeper. Like, he didn't make
I don't
Lloris
remember it exactly.
He didn't make Lloris make a play.
Nice saves, so.
Yeah, but it wasn't from him.
Could have been. I don't remember exactly.
My point is that I don't think Pulido looks any better. I think he still looks weak. And it is concerning. It really is. He has to get stronger. He has to get quality opportunities.
I agree. Can't get quality opportunities without taking shots, though.
You are right. That is 100%
also,
true.
That shot that he put on target while falling to the ground,
mm-hmm.
that was a better shot than most people get while standing on 2 feet.
I suppose.
That was kind of an I don't know how he got that quality of a shot off while being pulled to the ground. I have no idea how he did that.
Well,
that's kind of impressive. That was a pretty good save by Lloris. It wasn't
all I know is if I look at LAFC's expected goal average numbers, Atuesta, who had a 0.3 expected goal average, only had 2 shots. Buanga had 0.5 with 2 shots on target. 0.32 for Martinez with 2 shots on target. 0.66 for Oliveira with 3 shots on target. So it's not about down to the number of shots you're taking that matters. It's down to, are they quality opportunities? And he's not making those quality opportunities. Now, I don't know if that's him. I don't know if that's PV. I don't know if that's the other players aren't finding him at the right moments. But to me, something isn't working with Pulido, and we have to figure it out quickly because it is concerning for me.
Sure. I don't know. I guess I just disagree with you. I think you're being more pessimistic than we need to with him. I thought he looked a lot better this game. He was in positions a lot better. He got balls fed to him. He fed better. He had better passes going out. I mean, 3 shots is better than 1. I'll take that any day, especially from our number 9. So
it's better, but that doesn't mean it's good.
So you would rather him have 1 shot, but an expected goal of 1.
100%. Yes.
Interesting.
100%.
What if it isn't a goal?
Well, if it's an expected goal of 1 with 1 shot, that is a goal. That's how the stat works. But I would rather him have 1 quality opportunity than 3 mediocre opportunities. Yes.
Even 100%. If we lose 3-1.
Yeah, that's not the point. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about individual performances here.
All right. Well, I personally would rather our number 9 take shots and try to score goals because you can't score if you don't shoot.
I would too.
So
I would rather him have quality opportunities.
Watching him go from 1 shot to 1 shot to 3 shots, that's improvement. That's literally the definition of improvement.
Okay, please listen to me because I've said the same thing 4 times now. It is better. 3 shots is better than 1 shot, but it is not good. We are not at a point where Alan Pulido looked good. That is not at all where we're at right now. Alan Pulido was better because he got more shots off, sure, but they were not good shots. There was no quality to anything that he was doing. That's my point.
All right. Well, I mean, the shot that he took while he was being ripped to the ground was a pretty good shot. It was pretty quality shot.
It was decent, but it wasn't a quality opportunity. That's
probably
the point.
A better shot than either one of you or I could put on target there.
You're mixing up a good shot versus a quality opportunity.
Okay.
If he's getting ripped to the ground while he's taking a shot, that's not a quality opportunity. Quality opportunity is he has a wide open shot. That's the point.
So
that's what you need to win.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. So you're saying that shot wasn't a quality opportunity because he was being pulled to the ground. If he hadn't been being pulled to the ground, taking that shot from the penalty spot wide open on goal like it was, that would have been a quality opportunity.
But he wasn't wide open on goal because he was getting ripped to the ground. If he was wide open and he wasn't getting ripped to the ground, then yes, that's a quality opportunity.
Okay, bravo.
But because he's getting ripped to the ground...
I said, so what you're saying is if he hadn't been being pulled to the ground, then that would have been a quality opportunity.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So the fact that wasn't a quality opportunity is not his fault. Because the difference in those 2 scenarios is the defender pulling him to the ground. Not him, not his positioning, not where he took the shot from. The difference is the defender pulled him to the ground.
If you're saying that Alan Pulido has no control over his positioning on the pitch or his relation to other players, then yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. Okay. But I would argue with you that is absolutely not the case.
Okay. So where is your ideal spot for a number 9 to take a shot from?
That's not what we're talking about right now.
I'm just
no,
curious.
You're not. You're playing down a silly line that I'm not going down because this is not the point I'm making.
You're right, and I would hate to prove your point wrong. So
this isn't about proving my point wrong. This is down to he's not
I'm
getting.
Just saying, if I can pick anywhere on the pitch for my number 9 to take a shot, it's from the penalty spot. Why would I not want him shooting from there? So he was in the right position when he received that ball. He turned to shoot and got pulled to the ground. That is not his fault that he got pulled to the ground.
Okay, fine. I'll play your game. The better place to be is 2 feet to the left where there isn't a guy. That's the better
defender
place to
was
be.
on his left, so
That's not. I don't remember the play exactly. I don't exactly have it memorized. My point is that quality opportunities is much more than being in a specific spot on the pitch. It's not about being on the penalty spot or being 2 feet to the left of the penalty spot. It's about not being where the people are. That's soccer.
okay. All right.
You can disagree with me all you want. I don't care. Like, this isn't about proving my point.
That's
this
true.
isn't.
That's true.
This shouldn't be about you proving my point wrong.
You're right, 100%. I'm not.
This
I don't.
is
I
down.
I don't need to prove a point or anything. I'm just simply saying Pulido looked better, and the statistics back me. Three shots versus 1 is better. That particular shot right there. Also, to what you were saying, if he was 2 feet to the right, I understand you. Yeah, the defender was on he got pulled to his left. So if he was 2 feet to the right, he would have been standing right next to the other center back who was right there.
Right.
So
Again, I didn't memorize the play, sir.
He found the gap in between the two players, received the ball, turned to shoot, and was pulled to the ground. Because if he wasn't pulled to the ground, he would have had a point-blank shot on goal.
Okay.
So I don't understand how that's his fault that the defender pulled him to the ground.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense to me. That is a quality chance that he created.
I'm not arguing with you because I've made my point. You keep twisting my point into a different direction.
Fair enough.
My point is sure, 3 is better than 1. Fine. It is not good. We are not at a point where I am happy with our $9 million man's performance.
Fair enough. But who knows if we'll ever get there for you, you know?
Who knows? Scoring a goal would be a great start.
True.
So
True.
I think we start there and then we kind of go from there.
We'll see how he does against a game that doesn't have a World Cup winner, and as you described, one of the best in the world against him that can make those saves.
Yeah, that's true. Houston's got a really good goalkeeper too, and he looked like shit. Well, no, not really. Philadelphia also got a really good goalkeeper. Meh.
That's a good point. Both of those teams we have played some pretty good goalkeepers this year
really.
so far.
We're not playing world-class goalkeepers, so it's not Hugo Lloris.
All right.
I don't know why you're trying to bait me down a completely different point.
Actually, I mean, you made that point, but anyway, let's see. What else did we have from second half? Oh, I did find it interesting that they did show at the 43rd minute, they showed that LAFC's winning percentage was at 55%. I really don't know how that could be true because they didn't have the ball like at any point in time. And at that point, I don't think they had really any shots.
Well, it's because they came into the game with it at 60-something%.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But
it's going to start at that 60-something%. And it's got to work its way down.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably true. I don't
Might have been silly,
else. But any other? How did you feel about Memo?
He did okay. I don't think he looked quite as strong as he did in his backup performances. I thought he looked really good coming off on the bench. But coming in this game, being in the starter, it didn't look as strong. Maybe a bit unsure of where to be in certain moments. Kind of missed a few passes. Kind of didn't link up as well as he could have with the other players, which he's not the normal starter, so that's kind of an expected thing to see. It's very different coming off the bench. The team kind of expects different performances, but whenever you're on the starter, you kind of expect a little bit differently. So mixed emotions. I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong. He didn't look bad. He just wasn't quite as confident as he kind of seemed to be in his first couple of games.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right. It is easier to come off the bench, too, because there's not as high of expectations. But
right. And you're not tired and everybody else is, so that helps.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't really like his start.
Okay.
He had a couple of moments where he looked pretty good, but I don't like. I'm hoping this is more like you were saying, just confusion. That may not even be the right term, but like he's new.
Unfamiliarity.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a better word. I like the way Tommy plays.
Agreed.
Tommy really gets in behind the defenders. He switches sides of the field. He's always somewhere different. That makes it really difficult for the defenders to defend against him.
Sure.
Memo does not do any of that.
No.
He really sticks in his position and runs forward and trickles back, runs forward, trickles back. Yeah. And it's so predictable and easy to defend that I think it just destroys the effectiveness of that. It's why last year I really liked when we had Tommy and Gotti playing at the same time. Because both of them do that, and then we have both of our mids just constantly flipping and like going. Yeah. You can't defend that. You never know where they're going to be.
Not at all.
So
no, I agree with that. I do think it just comes down to, like we both said, just unfamiliar with the system. PV does play a pretty unique system in the way he does things, as far as where players are expected to be. Memo kind of comes from a bit more structured systems where your players are where they're expected to be in a certain spot pretty much the majority of the game. So I think he'll get there. I think it'll be okay. It didn't give me any like concerns with Memo that he's not good enough for it. I just think it was unfamiliar with the system, and
that's kind of what I'm hoping, because he has his personal skill and talent looked good.
Yeah.
And I liked what we were seeing there. It just his positioning, it doesn't fit well. If it's the same with like Johnny and Daniel.
Yeah.
Those two on the wings are constantly flipping, but since they're both doing it, it works.
Yeah.
And then we also have Pulido, who is everywhere. He doesn't have a position. So if we have Tommy and then our other wing, which Voltaire does quite well too.
Yeah.
Always flipping and always switching. It just makes it so hard to defend.
I agree.
But if you eliminate, and then Radoya doesn't really flip too much, but that's not his position, so that makes sense.
Right.
So if you have him and then also our left mid are just stagnant, now that whole section of the field is just stuck.
Right.
So,
agreed. Yeah. No, I agree. And the way we play the game, it's kind of funny to make the joke, but it does kind of remind me of Total Football in a way from Ted Lasso. It is very fluid. It is players are kind of moving all over the place. And it creates confusion. And when it works really well.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you said, if we have too many players being stagnant, then it can become a little bit of an issue. Yeah. And that's the big thing we're losing with with Ndembe. And Leibold taking his place is Ndembe was so good in that system. And we saw the sparks of that at the end of the year whenever he was scoring goals, and he got those 2 in the playoffs. He just looked I think it was finally clicking for him of how to play in that system. He was good at pushing, he was good at getting back when he needed to be. It was working well with Shallowy and with Tommy over on the left. Like, everything was just meshing really well. And with Leibold, we don't really get much of that wing play. He is really a traditional left back. He does get up every once in a while, but it's not his strong suit.
Yeah, I think he pushes forward a lot, but he doesn't get back as quickly.
Yeah, and it just doesn't mesh as well.
Yeah, he's just in general not really as fast, I don't think.
Right, I would agree.
But all right, well, let's get to the obvious thing that we have to talk about from the game.
Let's do it.
Our goalkeeper got called for a handball. Yeah, you heard, I said that right. Our goalkeeper, Tim Melia, got called for a handball, and they got an indirect kick inside the box, which is not something that you see all that often.
Not too often, especially not in the pros.
Right. Thankfully, Boanga missed that among all of his other shots.
Yeah.
And really didn't have a great showing. But thankfully he missed this one. I don't know how he missed it, but he somehow missed it. So
yeah, the indirects inside the box are really tricky because it's hard to get it up and down. To be able to do much of anything. So if you want to get it over the wall, but you got to get it back down again, and so
that one I don't even think went up over the wall. He just went around it.
Yeah,
and then it went around the post. Like, he just missed.
Right. So, yeah,
because it was open. The shot was definitely open.
Yes, yeah, there was definitely a shot there. He just missed it.
But anyway, what were your thoughts on Senior Melia's handball?
When I first watched it, I was confused on what the argument was about. I didn't understand. I'm like, how could you possibly argue this? But then I realized there was a bit of later on I saw about why there was confusion about Jake Davis was kicking it back to set up for the offsides call. He didn't realize, nobody realized that the ball was considered in play.
Yeah.
And so that's what the argument was. So I can kind of understand Melia's argument. That being said, he did place the ball and kick it off. Like, it was like the ball was live for all intents and purposes. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with the handball call. Like, it was the right call to make.
Yeah, it was definitely the right call.
But-
I had my original thought
Mhm.
was that it wasn't a direct pass to Tim from Jake,
Okay.
that is.
Okay.
That was my original thought, was that it wasn't a direct pass, so he could pick that ball up. But I was like, I need to see another replay and see where I think it was Fontas, one of our center backs. I think it was Fontas. See where he was when Jake played that ball back. So, but they never showed the replay again, so I never got to see that. So I was like, that's what I thought Tim was arguing. I thought he was saying it was a pass to Fontas. It wasn't to me. Because a keeper can only not pick up a direct pass. If it's passed to someone else and that person misses it and it rolls to the keeper, he can pick that up with his hands because it's not a direct pass.
Okay. I'll take your word for that because I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'll take your word for it.
I am 100. I looked it up just to be sure, but I am 100% sure that it is a direct pass back to the goalkeeper.
Okay.
So that's what I thought he was arguing, is that it was to Fontas, not to him.
Okay.
Or maybe Rosero. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
But
Somebody was there.
But then I saw after, and I kind of commented on Twitter. I talked back and forth with Jimmy Mack a little bit because he posted about it, and then I got a little bit more info about it, and they were saying what you said, that it was, they thought that Jake was just kicking it back to him so that he could put it down and play it for the offsides.
Right.
I'll be completely honest. I don't buy that for a second. I don't think that's what happened. I think that's what they're saying happened after the fact. And the sole reason that I don't believe that is because Timmy had that ball at his feet. He dribbled forward a little bit, and then the LAFC attacker, I don't remember who it was, probably Boanga, but it doesn't matter, started like slowly running towards him.
Right.
And Melia did one of these things where he put his hands up. Sorry, you can't see my hands. And then he like put his hand next to the ball and waited until the LAFC defender got right up on him before he picked it up.
Right.
So when he did that, I was like, no, he knew that ball was in play. Because if the ball wasn't in play, he would have just picked it up and been like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, this is not a live ball. What are you doing? So that's why I don't believe that, because the way he played that is the way you play it when the ball is live and they're trying to get you to go quickly, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to wait. I'm up. I'm trying to kill time so we can get a draw. Pick it up.
Yeah.
So that's what I think he was doing, and I think they kind of had that's what their argument turned. That's what he was trying to say, and I don't know. I think he just got stuck in it, picked it up, or like I said, I thought it was a back pass, and he was like, "This isn't direct." I think that would have been way more believable if he would have come out and said that. Then I would have been like, "Oh, that makes sense." But that's just my thought. I think he knew the ball was live, or why else would you try to bait the defender before you pick it up?
No, I agree with that.
So
I don't know. It was strange. It was strange. All around.
But it didn't bite us, so who really cares in the long run? It's this dumb mistake that Timmy's never made before, so I assume he'll never make it again.
Probably not.
So, it didn't end up biting us, but it was just kind of a strange play that we should talk about. But all right, well, 30 minutes in, let's hit up our MVPs real quick. Who is your MVP of this game?
MVP goes to Tim Melia. 6 saves, couple big ones. Honorable mention goes to our center backs. Great play from both of them.
Yeah, exactly what I typed. Hard not to give it to Melia, especially with that last second save out of nowhere to keep him off the board and preserve the tie. That's a big one.
Yep. Yeah.
So
yeah, there was his first save and his last save were 2 big ones.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, who's your MVP?
We don't need to rehash it, but Alan Pulido.
All right, I took a drink because that was faster than I was expecting you to be.
My bad.
Interesting. All right, cool. Yeah, we don't have to rehash it. I understand.
Okay.
I'm going with Leibold. He got burned a lot, and honestly,
he
got lucky because our center backs stepped up. Jake Davis stepped up, or Tim Melia stepped up, or David Martinez doesn't understand how tall the goal is. A lot of different reasons, but he just got lucky, honestly.
Right.
So Leibold was mine. He was getting smoked all game.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. I believe you had a couple other things you want to talk about before we go around the league.
I did. Very quick ones. First, congratulations to Alinas Vargas getting his first international call-up for the Honduras national team.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Congratulations to him.
I find it interesting when players who aren't starters on MLS teams get called up for international. It always makes me go like, should we be looking at this guy more?
We should be. My second one, somebody posted this on Facebook, and you may have seen it, but I thought it was a brilliantly phrased question and way to look at this. Out of these 4 options, what would you consider is your outlook on the team so far this year?
Okay.
Are we undefeated and you're not worried at all? Are we undefeated but you're a little bit worried? Are we winless but you're not worried? Or are you winless, or are we winless and you're very worried?
Definitely not that last one.
Okay.
I'm not very worried. I have no reason to be very worried.
Okay.
I would say I think I lean towards I think my gut says we are undefeated and I'm not worried.
Okay.
I think that's what my gut says because we are undefeated. We have points in all 3 games though.
We do?
To me that's the difference between undefeated and winless.
Okay.
Like we haven't lost any games. That's what undefeated means, you haven't lost.
Sure.
So we are winless, yes, but
right.
We are undefeated because we haven't lost.
Sure, of course.
So 3 draws, and the teams that we beat were all 3 made deep runs in the playoffs last year.
That's very true.
One of which was in the final and won the final right before that.
That is very true.
It's not like we're drawing against the bottom of the league. We're drawing against good teams in LA, in Houston. Like, these are good teams. Also, the draw for Philly at our home opener was stupid. Shouldn't have happened. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I lean towards we are undefeated and I am not worried because I do think it's still only 3 games in and our attack looks better every game. So we'll get there. I wish we were a little further with our attack, but I think we're getting there.
Okay. Well, I sit in the camp of we are undefeated, but I am worried. Which I'm sure, shocker.
Yeah.
I agree that we're undefeated. I don't think we're winless yet. We definitely have played well, especially defensively. Our offense is scary to me. I know a lot of people don't seem to be worried about it. It is concerning to me. 3 games and 2 goals. I understand we're playing high quality teams, but I look across the league and everybody else is scoring a lot of goals. I see a lot of teams putting up 3, 4, 5 goals a game, and we're not doing that. So other teams know how to get better starts than we do. All I can think of is looking back to last year and understanding we can't do it again, and it seems like we're doing it again. So I don't know. We need to be scoring more goals. So that's why I'm worried. But I do agree we're undefeated. I don't think we're winless yet. Now, if we come out of this next week and it's another draw, that's an entirely different conversation.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
That would be a very different conversation if we have a draw or a loss this upcoming week. I agree 100%. But
yeah,
I think we just need to score a bunch of goals so you can swap out your pessimist hat for an optimist hat and realize that the grass is a lot greener on this side.
I am neither pessimist nor optimistic. I am realistic.
Well, that's the
glass
to me tells me you don't know the definitions of those words.
The glass is neither half full or half empty. It is twice as big as it needs to be.
That is certainly a way to look at it.
It sure is.
So go ahead and take us around the league then.
Sure. So we had a couple exciting matches this week. We had opening up the weekend, we had NYC FC hosting Portland. Portland getting the win 2-1 there, jumping up to the top of the standings at the moment. I think they're the top of the Shield standings, if I remember correctly. And I'm not. Miami still got that one. Atlanta at home hosting New England Revolution, getting a beat down on New England Revolution 4-1 there. Minnesota playing in Orlando. Minnesota getting the win 3-2 there. We had RSL and Colorado. Colorado getting their first win there, beating RSL 2-1. Moving on to Sunday, we had Cincinnati and DC United playing to another 0-0 draw. Nashville and LA Galaxy playing to a 2-2 draw. And then finally we had Inter Miami and Montreal. Montreal getting the win 3-2 there, sending Mr. Beast home very sad. Sorry, Jimmy.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I can't remember who else I saw that was at the... Yeah, he was standing right next to Mark Rober.
He was standing next to Mark Rober, who was wearing a Messi jersey, which made me sad.
Yeah, that kind of made me sad too. But I was like, it's kind of pathetic that we live in a world where more people recognize Mr. Beast than recognize Mark Rober.
Well, to be fair, the video that showed was specifically highlighting Mr. Beast, and Mark Rober's back was turned.
That's true.
So it took a couple watches for me to recognize Mark Rober. So
although
I did,
I don't know if it was the same video. I have no idea. But the video that I saw, that was Mr. Beast is in the building. It was Mark Rober who posted it.
I just saw it on the ESPN
So
page.
I was like, nobody knows who Mark Rober is. He's way more impressive than Mr. I mean, Mr. Beast is impressive in his own right, but like Mark Rober's brilliant. I love that.
Oh yeah, I love Mark Rober. But yeah, no. Mr. Beast has I don't know, like 20 kajillion subscribers, so I think he beats Mr. Mark Rober a little bit.
Yeah, true. All right, well, while you're looking up who Mark Rober is, while you're sitting there Googling it and you come across his Twitter, while you're on there, head on over to PTW_pod and give us a follow also. YouTube you do need the @ PTW_pod also. Facebook, Paint the Wall Podcast, and that is also our Gmail, paintthewallpodcast@gmail.com. Logan, let's get into our good, bad, and ugly.
Let's do it.
Everybody's favorite segment. Logan, hit me with your good.
Yeah, my good. I didn't think it was going to happen. Miami lost a game, though, and it was exciting. They lost to Montreal, too, and Montreal's, I'm not sure about that. So, sorry, Messi? I don't know. It was exciting for me.
I'm not. I like when Messi loses. It makes things more exciting. He's apparently not going to play next week. It cannot wait for him to not play in Arrowhead when we're here. I absolutely cannot wait for that.
Oh, that's going to be so bad.
That will be awesome. But my good is Minnesota United FC.
Okay.
In all honesty, this also should have been my good last week.
Okay.
They have back-to-back weeks scored last-second goals. Last week was for a draw. This week was for the win. In the 90, I think it was 90+8 minute this week. Let me look that up. I should have typed it down, but I didn't. 90+5. I think last week was 90+8.
Yeah, it was pretty deep into
They
it.
scored for the 90+5 for both. So they scored two 95-minute goals for the draw. And the best part is they are wearing absolutely the best jerseys in the league. God, those things look good. Anyway, over to your bad.
My bad goes to the New England Revolution.
Yeah.
2 seasons ago, they were holding the shield. 1 season ago, they were in 5th place in the East. Now they are sitting at 3-0, 3 losses, with a -6 goal differential and firmly clutching onto that wooden spoon. I know it's early, but are you guys okay?
And for a nice throwback, that is winless.
Yeah, that is winless.
My bad goes to David Martinez, not for his hair. I know that's what you were thinking.
Okay.
For LAFC, solely on his breakaway shot that he put 58 feet over the goal.
Yeah.
Which was the first bad thing. The second bad thing was when you look across to the right side of the goal and you see Denny Bouanga standing there, completely unmarked, wide open,
losing his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's bad. You wanted to be the hero, which I get, and sometimes you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
I get it. 100%. Yeah. I get it.
It's gotta happen
sometimes you don't have to be selfish. Or at least if you're going to be selfish, make Melia make a save, which the way that game went, he would have made. He would have made that save.
Probably. Yeah.
Make him do that, you know?
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That one was really bad.
So that's my bad. Hit me with your ugly.
My ugly, we are actually going to leave MLS regular play for just a moment.
Ooh.
Going to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which,
nice.
just yet another tournament that people have participated in. I get them mixed up all the time. I don't even know what half of them are anymore.
Sure.
But Philadelphia playing their second leg against Pachuca. They got a 0-0 draw in the first game. Always a great result whenever you're the road team in the second game. Philadelphia probably coming in with a lot of confidence just to get thrashed by Pachuca 6-0.
Nice.
So that's my ugly. They got drummed out of the CCC that way. So
Well,
Yikes.
better luck in the next tournament next week or whenever it is.
Yeah.
The
Champions Cup League tournament,
exactly.
open. I don't know.
Which, before I forget, speaking of CONCACAF, Women's Gold Cup champions, Team USA.
Yeah.
Great game. The game against Canada shouldn't have been played,
No,
but it was, and we won, so it's okay. And then decent game in the final. Nice goal by Lindsey Horan. It's just there's nobody more automatic on a corner kick than Lindsey Horan, I don't think.
Yeah, she's pretty solid.
It's insane how predictable it is. It's like honestly, and I'll say it. It's like when we used to watch Abby Wambach do the exact same thing, except for she was a little taller. But it was like, well, this corner kick's going to go to Horan, and she's going to put it in, or it might have been a free kick. I don't remember if it was a corner or a free kick. But
right, I don't remember.
But either way, it's so predictable, and it's just like this is going to happen, and then it does, and you're like, yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
So right before my ugly, I know, but you mentioned CONCACAF, and I was like, I don't want to forget to shout out the women's team for getting us back on track, winning another trophy.
Good for them.
All right. My ugly is the Chicago Fire allowing a 100th minute goal. No, not in extra time.
Yeah.
That was in the 10th minute of stoppage time for a loss. That sucks. Also, there were 3 stoppage time winners this week and 1 stoppage time tying goal.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot. And none of them came for Sporting because, as we've said this is now the 2nd season, we don't score stoppage time goals to win games. Never happens for us. So
I want to know when the last time Sporting won a stoppage time goal to win a game, because I would genuinely say I don't think it's happened since you and I started following Sporting Kansas City.
I would. I don't want to say I would be surprised to find out that it happened since we've been watching, but it doesn't happen that often, and it's not in memorable games, I would say.
Right.
So
I do not remember us doing that.
No, I don't either. And I really look forward to somebody hitting us up on Twitter going, it happened 3 times last year. And I'll be like, oh, all right, well, we're wrong. But I just don't think it ever happens.
No, we just seem to not get those last second chances like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And it really sucks. It hurts.
Yeah. I want one, It happens to us a lot, especially when we're there.
Yeah, especially, what was that, 2019?
Yeah. That's... that and the one that just happened last week are the 2 I was mostly thinking about. But yeah. All right, let's get these people out of here. But before we do, we also have to preview next week. This shouldn't take very long. We are playing at home against San Jose. Apparently, they've got a new pregame light show.
Yeah.
That they said, you think the home opener was cool. We'll see if this one ends up being as cool. That one was pretty cool, though. So hopefully it ends up cool.
I should be at the game, so.
Cool. You doing press?
Yeah.
Right on. Don't clap too loud then, because we don't want to get in trouble. So we're playing, against San Jose. They are 0-3 or 0-3-0, depending on what site you prefer. They've lost 3 games. Losses to Vancouver, who are 5th in our conference. Galaxy, who are 3rd. Dallas, who are 9th, 1 above us. They have 2 goals this year. Same, bro, except for we have a 0 goal differential. Theirs is... I didn't type it down, but it was like -5, -6, something like that.
Yeah, it's -5.
-5, okay. So, what do you think? How do you think this goes?
I'm going to choose to be optimistic on this one because if we don't, the alternative is pretty terrifying. So I think we're going to do pretty well. I think we're finally going to find the back of the net consistently. I think we're going to get to play with the new pyrotechnics and light effects a lot. I think we're going to win 3-1.
Nice. All right, cool. I agree with everything you said except for 3-0.
Okay.
I don't think they're scoring on us. Our defense is really good so far this year, and it does seem like that's going to be kind of consistent. And Tim Melia is Tim Melia.
Yeah. No.
I
agree
that his name rhymes with him.
That's fair.
That dude's a dude, let me tell you.
I was sitting there going, Melia doesn't rhyme with him.
Yeah, that's fair. So I'm going 3-0.
Okay.
So
fair
awesome.
enough.
Point update. No, neither one of us got any points. So
love it.
We didn't pick a draw. So I'm still up 1-0. Yay.
Hey.
All right, let's get these people out of here. This is a long enough episode. Twitter, PTW_pod. Don't forget. Facebook, Paint the Wall Podcast, if you want to go there. Nobody really ever does, but it's on my list, so I read it. Gmail, also paintthewallpodcast@gmail.com. And on YouTube, if you're not watching this already, at, which you do need, PTW_pod. On YouTube, give us a follow. Let us know what you're thinking. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you think of this show,
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to comment on or have us change or anything like that, let us know. That's the best place to do it.
That's it.
Awesome. Logan, I appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you, Steve.
Everybody have a good week.
See you guys.